Hello guys, and today we have here another very awesome deck. We have here an anti-meta Utopia deck. Utopia got some really powerful support such as this Utopic Z or Hope Zex or something like that I heard might be its name for the TCG. But this deck is pretty much just an anti-meta rank 4 spam deck that just it just has the Diona and Mamilio. It's just a great rank 4 engine. If only there was a better card to search them out, just being able to search a trap, then go have Diona to summon her back out, pop back row, or summon out Diona with Diona and reset a trap card. It's just really good because you can get out good monsters with this deck, the good, really awesome Utopia monsters, and then just have such insane back row where it's really nice. And you also have the Fire and Ice Hand to get rid of back row and all the whatnot. So this deck is really awesome. The Utopia stuff can be made, it's all generic, so you can run other rank 4s. But this is a build that I like a lot. So I'm just going to go right in and explain everybody's effect. We have the one Thunder King here, just attack, just to hurt a variety of different decks. They can hurt Pendulums, except Insight Magician still gets his effect. It can hurt just a variety of decks. Necross is still a thing. Triple Diona. Her effect is she will special summon a traptrix monster from your graveyard, including herself. And if she is special summoned, then she can set a trap hole card from your graveyard to your side of the field, but it will be banished during your next turn. So it is really nice to be able to go, oh, I'm just going to reuse my time space or my void or my bottomless, and then your opponent's like, ah, that's not good. Mamilio will search your trap holes, and if she is special summoned, she will pop backwards, so that is really nice. Or pop a pendulum, so if your opponent goes for your scale and you have Call of the Haunted, that is really nice as well. Firehand, if Firehand is destroyed by your opponent's card while in your possession, which means if it's warninged on its normal summon, it will still get its effect, which is really awesome. So then you can target a monster and destroy it, and then special summon out Ice Hand. Ice Hand, if it is destroyed in your possession by opponent's card effect or battle, you can destroy back row. So these guys really great floaters. You can use them. Works real well with Utopic Z because you want to summon Utopic Z main phase 2, so you can just go ham with Fire and Ice Hand on your opponent's back row and monsters, and then make Utopic Z and be like, okay, you can't do anything during your turn. And then we have Hat Trick. Originally I was running Photon Thrasher as a monster that could special summon himself out, but then I remembered this guy. If there are 2 more monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, so that is really good. It also has another effect. When a card effect is activated that would inflict damage to is activated, you can put a counter on it and reduce that damage to 0. And if it has 3 counters on it, it has an attack of 3300. But more than likely, you're just going to go for a straight XZ summon. It's meant to XZ summon with Mamilio real quickly, just so that way you have access to Utopia monsters sooner, instead of having to wait for Mamilio to leave the field and then go Diona. Instant Fusion, again, it's just really nice to summon out the Nodin. Something to note though is with Nodin, if you summon out Fire and Ice Hand, if you summon out the Traptrix, their effects will be negated. But seeing how Fire and Ice Hand effects activate in Graveyard, they will still go through, so you can summon out Nodin and then bring back an Ice Hand to, like, let's say your opponent banished a Fire Hand and you have an Ice Hand in Graveyard, you can summon out Ice Hand and then go ham on your opponent again. And they will be destroyed and go to your graveyard, so it's really nice. 2 Galaxy Cyclone. Back row can be annoying, it's nice. You just have to be careful with getting rid of a back row. Like if your opponent has 2 back row, don't activate Mamilio or Cyclone. Mamilio is mandatory, so if you have to, you have to. But don't do that, because if you get rid of one back row and then you find out the other one's Mirror Force or something, and you attack with your Ice Hand, it will be destroyed and then there will be nothing to pop. If they have Pendulums or a field spell, then it's just like really nice if they have some like continuous spell card on the field, because it's just like, oh sweet, I can just get rid of all of its back row and Fire and Ice Hand will still work because I can just destroy the Pendulums with them. So just be careful with getting rid of back row. 1 Rejeki. And then we have 2 rank up magic cards in this deck. We have Variant Force, which in order to XZ summon this guy, you have to ditch a rank up magic card. And both of these guys are really nice, but you can use this guy to make the C101 or the C39 Utopia Ray. And then we have the 7th one, where if you draw this card for your normal draw, you can summon out a C101 pretty much on top of a 101, so that is really, really nice. The only ways to add this card to your hand is through your normal draw, what you want, or drawing into it. If you draw into it normally, then, or if you open up with it, with your first 5 cards, or yeah, with your first 5 cards, then you just ditch it for Utopic Z pretty much. Duality, you could take it from Duality, but I don't know why you would. But you could also take it from XYZ Change Tactic, which does let you draw a card, in which case then it's just like, you just pitch it for Utopic Z. There's nothing you can do with it afterwards. But XYZ Change Tactic is every time you summon a Utopia monster, you get to draw 1 card by paying 500 life points. So if you go for Utopia Lightning, you end up drawing 3 cards. You draw 1, 2, and then 3. If you go for this guy, you would end up drawing 3 cards. Also, if you were to go for him, you wouldn't end up drawing 3 cards. You'd only end up drawing 2, because this is a Utopic monster, not a Utopia monster. And then we have, for trap holes, 2 voids, 2 time space, and bottomless. This void is just good, specifically against pendulums. Not void, time space is good against pendulum. I chose void over traptrix trap hole is because it still negates the effects, even if it activates, or if they're going to activate it, then you just void trap hold them right away. I mean, granted, it has to have 2,000 or more attack, so if they summon like a Star Seraph monster with like Scepter from the graveyard, you won't be able to get that monster, and they'll be able to get its search. But I just like void better because it can respond to the summon and to get rid of multiple monsters, so it has more utility. It's good against the pendulum summon, and it can also stop cards like Trishula or Valkyrie, Unicorn, whatever. And then, of course, time space, they pendulum summon, they all go back to the deck. You will lose a decent amount of life points. And then bottomless. For the rest of traps, Torrential, Ring of Destruction, love Ring of Destruction. Compulse, Jar of Avarice. We only run 1, and it's just good. You can reset your Fire and Ice Hand and annoy your opponent. Return some of your XYZ monsters. So that is something you can do. Vanity's Emptiness, 2 Call of the Haunted, and Solemn Warning. Call of the Haunted, it is just a good card in general, because you can summon out Diona, reset a trap card, summon out Mamilia, pop back row, or be like, summon out Fire and Ice Hand, you sure you want to attack? And then you have a Fire and Ice Hand. So that is the main deck. You don't have to XZ summon right away. In fact, I try not to XZ summon until I have XYZ Change Tactic, or unless it's necessary for me to make a Utopia monster, because then it's just like, oh, I get to draw 3 cards. And even if I draw into Fire and Ice Hand, it's okay. And I can deal with that, but XYZ Change Tactic, just being able to draw those 2 cards is nice. But no real pressure to be on the extra deck. You can just sit with Fire and Ice Hand in your 4 back row. And, like, there was one duel that you guys will see tomorrow in the replays, is with Dragon Pit. The guy got rid of most of my back row with Dragon Pit. He just played very passively. But then he got rid of them, and he couldn't do anything because he kept on discarding all of his pendulum stuff, so he had nothing to summon. So it's like the back row, it just creates a threat that can be really hard on pendulums, which I'm really stressing, because those pendulums are going to be good. Those pendulums are going to be good. And this deck is already decent against Decars. I mean, they have like some monsters, and then you can just make like a C101, or just deal with like Utopia the Lightning. Like, it's this, the Necros, they shouldn't be too much of a problem with this deck. Unless they have Denko, or Decree. But again, this deck is more heavy on XYZ summons, so you should have plenty of answers to those monsters. For the extra deck, Norden. I'm just going to call it Norden, it's a better name. It summons out a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. It's level 4, so it's really easy just to go for your plays. EXE plays, and then C101, this guy's awesome. You can target a special monsters and attach it to this card as XYZ material. If it is destroyed and sent to graveyard while it has XYZ material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard and gain 2,800 life points. But you have to have number 101 attached to this card. No, in your graveyard. You have to have number 101 in your graveyard. So you summon him on top of 101, and then you attach a monster. He gets destroyed. You gain 2,800 life points. He summons himself out. You attach another monster, and you can just loop it, and you can just gain a whole bunch of life. And then Utopia Ray V, if he is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can return an XZ monster to the extra deck. And once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card. If it has a Utopia monster attached to it, you can detach to target a monster, destroy, and inflict damage. So he's really good for going for game. Because it's like, oh, my opponent has a 28 monster. I'm going to summon out this guy. and he has 26, so that would be 52 damage right there. And then if you had anything else, that would really help out. So he can be really good for going for games. So don't forget about him. Utopia the Lightning. This is the new card. This is one of the new cards. He is an Almaties. He's a 25 beta of an Almaties that you can summon on top of C39. And if he has a Utopia monster attached to him during damage calculation, you can detach 2 XYZ materials to increase his attack to 5,000. And you can do it twice, because you make Utopia and it has 2 XYZ material, then you put on C39, and then you put on Utopia the Lightning, and you have the 2 Utopia monsters and the 2 materials that you have from Utopia. So you can detach the 2, and then you can detach the Utopias, and you can activate this effect twice. That's 5,000. That's actually, it isn't going to be 5,000 because he has to attack a monster to get that effect. But it's really nice. It's just a whole bunch of damage, and just being an Almaties that's a 25 beta is really nice. Dark Rebellion Dragon, another 25 beta that can have your opponent's monsters attack. And something I found out with this card, you can activate it more than once. So if you can add material, such as what Heraldics can do, that's really good. That's really good. And then we have the Utopia stuff. Their effects aren't really that good. Utopia can negate attacks. 101, just attach a special monster to him. Castell. But yet, if you, in this situation, if you're running C101 in the 7th one, and you have this situation where you need to get rid of a monster, unless you absolutely have to make 101, I highly recommend making Castell. Normally there's certain situations where you have to learn between Dark Rebellion, Castell, and 101, but really try not to use 101, because you want to make sure you have that 7th one or access to that C101. But do note with this card, you can make C101 on top of a Utopia, I believe. It's target 1 face up X C monster you control, special summon number C monster number with the same type as that monster. So this is an Aqua. There's some other rank up magic card that lets you do it, because I remember doing it on top of a Tiramisu. I think it's limited Baron's Force. Target 1 rank 4 XYZ. Yeah, this one's actually better, because you can make C101 on top of like Dark Rebellion or Castell, or your opponent's XZ monster if you somehow gain control of it. And that's something. So if you do use 101, you still have access to C101. So that is something to note. Exciton Knight. And then Cowboy for game. And then here is the new card, S0 Utopic Z. It is a rank 0 monster. 3 number monsters of the same rank, but we don't care about that. You can XZ summon this by discarding 1 rank up magic normal spell card. Really hate that it said normal. If it said rank up magic card, then it'd be like rank up Revolution Force. Because that would be really awesome. Because this card's decent. And then it has a variety of effects. The XYZ summon cannot be negated. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the XZ summon of this card. You can though, so that's awesome. You can activate stuff on its summon, but your opponent cannot. This card gains 1,000 attack for each XYZ material. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during this turn. That's just the main thing. You just go ham with Fire and Ice Hand. You get rid of all their backbone stuff. You summon this guy and then like no card or effects. The only problem is Salvation won't let me activate it during the draw phase, which is annoying. Because like draw phase, detach, but Salvation server is like nah. Last I checked, I mean they update constantly, so that's nice. And that is the deck. Some other cards to note is Kagito Kagi and Prominence Hand. These cards will help make your rank 4s if you rather run them, and Kagito Kagi can be searched. And Prominence Hand can be special summoned if you control a Fire Hand or Ice Hand. So those are something to note. And then this card, again, this lets you XYZ summon a Shade Rapper monster on top of your opponent's XYZ monster and gain control of it. So that is something that's awesome. But if you want to, you could tech that in, tech in one of the Raid Raptors. But if only this card said rank up magic instead of rank up magic normal spell card. And so that is the deck. I like it. It's really fun. I mean, it's just it's very versatile against many decks. Like you can go up against other rogue decks. You can go up against the meta and be like, okay, I can play decently against this deck. It can be both passively. I mean, as you can see, just with the Traptrix Milio and the Fire and Ice Hand and Dualities, this deck can be like very anti-meta. You can have cards like Falsodina in the side or whatever. But then you can also play aggressively, be like XYZ change tactic, perform a chat trick, or draw 3 cards, and just be like 5,000 damage, 5,000 attack monster. So it can be very, very good and just be really annoying. Just like, oh nope, you can't ritual summon, you can't activate your pendulum effects. And so it's just really nice, really good deck. Call the Haunted plus Thunder King is a mistake, pretty much. Your opponent goes for that Brio and Thunder King's in the graveyard. Be like, nope, I'm gonna call the Haunted, hit the Thunder King back. So there's just a lot of utility, a lot of power this deck has. The only thing that could be annoying to it is lose a turn, but then again we do, oh no, lose a turn would negate Mamilio. Fire and Ice Hand would still work, but you couldn't play aggressively with them, and then you have Galaxy Cyclone, which could pop it from the graveyard. So lose a turn would be a little bit annoying, and you'd have to get rid of it, but it is still, but this deck can still play around. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck. It's just a rank 4 engine pretty much that I think is decent. It's probably very budget friendly. I mean, I took a deck very similar to this, if you remember, at 2 regionals, and I went 5-4. It was way more anti-meta. It was running Falsadina in it, but it was just really, really nice. So again, tell me what you guys think of this. I guess this is HTTP again. Hands, Traptrix, King, and Performage. I guess that works. So this is the new HTTP deck, or anti-meta Utopia. So tell me what you guys think of this deck again. Any comments, concerns, or what? Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.